This is Democracy Undecided. Today we are going to dive into a brief history of democracy. What is democracy from historical perspective and how did it begin? It didn't appear overnight. It wasn't born in one country or one century. Democracy evolved over time from experiments, reforms, revolutions, and struggles. Some ideas failed, some survived and developed. But they taught us one thing: power can come from people. What are early examples of democratic initiatives? They were relevant to the shared decision making in a few aspects, relevant to the survival of the early communities. Long before anyone used the word democracy, people met in groups to make decisions together. They discussed war and peace, land and harvest, justice and punishment. One of the well-known examples is the Althing in Iceland, founded around 930 CE. Across Africa and Asia, village councils practiced collective rule for centuries, but the most famous early democracy was in ancient Athens. Around 508 BCE, Athens gave political rights to free male citizens. They gathered in assemblies, debated, voted, and accepted the results. It wasn't perfect. Women, slaves, and foreigners were excluded. But the idea was clear: people could govern themselves. Reforms by Cleisthenes created new voting groups and the Council of 500, chosen by lottery. Later, Civilis reduced the power of aristocrats. Under Pericles, citizens were paid to serve as jurors and public officials. Even powerful politicians could be expelled through public vote, process called ostracism. Also, Rome was developing its own model of democracy, which was more a mixed model. While Athens focused on direct democracy, Rome took a different path. Rome balanced power between elected officials, the Senate, and citizens' assemblies. This was known as a mixed constitution, described by the historian Polybius. In 509 BCE, Rome became a republic, and by 450 BCE passed the 12 Tables, their first written laws to address plebeian demands for legal equality against the patrician-controlled justice systems. The 12 Tables, inscribed on the tablets and displayed publicly, provided a written foundation of Roman law that addressed civil procedures, property rights, and familial law, serving as the crucial step toward a more structured and equitable legal system for all Roman citizens. As we can see, democracy was evolving along with the legal system. Later, emperors took control, starting with Augustus in 27 BCE. But legal traditions remained strong. In the 6th century, Emperor Justinian ordered the creation of the Corpus Juris Civilis, a giant legal code that became the foundation for modern civil law system. The next milestone in the development of democratic principle limits on the kings during the medieval breakthrough. As empire faded, kings ruled most of the Europe, but even kings were challenged. In 1215, England's King John was forced to sign Magna Carta, which stated that the king must obey the law. It introduced ideas like due process and fair trials. In Venice, a powerful council was formed in 1297 to stop one-man rule. In Switzerland, citizens met in open-air assemblies to vote. In 1295, England's modern parliament gave nobles and townspeople a voice in lawmaking. The message was spreading: rulers need the people's permission. During the Age of Reason, Invention of printing allowed the distribution of new democratic and political ideas. Philosophers of that age asked bold questions. Who should rule? Where do rights come from? Can the people remove a bad ruler? Hobbes wrote about the need for order. Locke said governments must protect natural rights. Montesquieu promoted separation of power. Rousseau believed in a popular sovereignty. Wollstonecraft argued for women's rights. Their ideas fueled multiple revolutions. In 1688, England's Glorious Revolution limited royal power. In 1776, the United States declared independence. In 1789, the French Revolution demanded liberty and equality. But still, those early democracies excluded many: women, the poor, enslaved people, and colonized communities. Still, the idea of people-powered government kept spreading. In 1800s, more people got more rights. As cities and newspapers grew, more people demanded a voice. Workers formed unions. Movements called for safer jobs and better pay. In Britain, the Chartist movement demanded voting rights and secret ballots. In 1848, protests swept across Europe. Voting rules began to change. Property requirements were removed. Seats in parliament were made fairer. In 1893, New Zealand gave women full voting rights. Finland followed in 1906. By the end of the century, democracy was no longer only for the wealthy. The beginning of the 20th century brought crises and later long-term recovery. 2 world wars shook the world. Some democracies collapsed into dictatorships, but others rebuilt their democratic systems to make them even stronger. New constitutions gave more protection. The United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. Germany created a basic law with strict checks and balances. India adopted one of the longest democratic constitutions ever written. Former colonies gained independence and drafted new laws. A global shift has happened, and the third wave of democratic changes started to move across the globe. From 1970s to 1990s, democracy spread quickly. Portugal ended dictatorship in 1974. Spain adopted a new constitution in 1977. Argentina returned to elections in 1983. South Korea reformed in 1987. Taiwan legalized opposition parties and held its first direct presidential vote in 1996. Countries across Eastern Europe and Africa began to change. Each path was different. Some used truth commissions, others rewrote election laws. But the goal was the same: power through consent. As of today, democracy spread is quite substantial around the world, yet they are not the same. Today, democracy exists in many forms. Some countries protect freedoms, others just hold elections without real choice. Some shut down media or silence oppositions. Organizations like Freedom House, We Dem, and Economist Intelligence Unit track these changes. Their warning is simple: democracy must be maintained. It can fade. The important question today: what makes democracies work? Democracy is more than just voting. It includes laws, courts, media, and trust. Elections choose leaders, constitutions limit them, courts resolve conflicts, journalists investigate wrongdoing, public services carry out the law. Some countries use referendum or citizens' assemblies to involve the public directly. But all democracies need rules, clear, fair, and enforced. Now we came to the important matter regarding democracy development in its legal environment, and we would consider next why legal traditions matter. Every country developed a legal system. Some use detailed written codes, which is a civil law. Others follow court decisions and precedents, which is a common law. Many countries blend both, and some include religious or customary laws. These systems shape to which extent and how fast change happens, how rights are protected, and how people interact with government. In the next video, we will explore these legal traditions and developments of legal systems more closely. We will look at civil law, common law, and hybrid systems. This will help us understand why democracies behave so differently. After that, we will focus on one unique country, Switzerland. We will explore how its legal structure, economy, and safety policies work under direct democracy. If you wish to learn more about history of democracy, please follow the links below this video to stay educated. Thank you for staying with us. This is Democracy Undecided.